Hey guys, Pete here, HVAC Greatness. So there's really two different types of customers, and we really have to recognize the difference. There are frugal customers, and there are cheap customers. And a frugal customer is actually good, okay? This is somebody that doesn't spend money on stuff they don't need. They're frugal. But a cheap customer, they won't spend money on things they do need. And that's the difference. So what's going on a lot of times is we confuse our customers as being cheap when they're actually just being frugal because they don't understand that they need the things that you're offering. One of the things that we've learned in business that in order to streamline you, the owner, and you've got to get efficient. You've got to kill certain tasks, you've got to automate certain tasks, and you have to delegate certain tasks. Right? So we're always thinking about how do I do that so that I can be a more efficient operation. Well, one of the things that we've delegated and we really should have gone through the work to automate is the way that we are perceived by the customer. This is where the rubber meets the road. Now, look here in this area here. This is number 8 of the process. First of all, there's 3 phases. You've got to go through phase 1 in order to even create phase 2, which is your strategy. And the implementation of your strategy is where your sales process is, like here in area number 8. So we've provided a sales strategy for the technicians, for your comfort advisors, if you need them. But if you already have your own and they're not being as effective, it's because of these other elements here. It takes market leaders years to get these things figured out. And why really should we go through that when the information is available? When the structure, there's so much information out there that if you do your homework and you find somebody who's put this stuff together, you can save yourself years and start making more money right away. This is an exclusive. Obviously, all this stuff is being done a little here, a little there. But to put this thing together like it's been done here, this is powerful. This is business-changing, life-changing level transition. And to get this done in as little as 90 days is a big deal. So most companies, like I said, it takes many years. But let's talk about that. Why is your customer being frugal, think they're being frugal, but they're actually being cheap? It's really based on their ignorance. And so what are they ignorant about? Well, they don't value what you're doing. They perceive that carrier system or that Trainer Linux system as the value. You're just the company that's putting it in. And if you ask them, well, it doesn't matter who puts it in. It's the same equipment. You and I know that. In fact, the manufacturers literally, they should be praised for this. Their equipment runs in spite of the hacks out there slopping this stuff in sometimes, cutting corners, not doing the things that they should, setting systems up to fail from day one, dealing with static pressure issues, dealing with improper refrigerant charges or contaminants in the systems. And there's just a host of stuff. So how do you communicate that so that they're not cutting costs on something that they need? And so what this requires is our ability to communicate this, not just logically, because you guys do great at that. You can explain to them exactly why you have to nitrogen purge your line set when you're brazing your line set in, or why you have to do a flush on the line set if you're reusing an existing one, or why you have to enlarge the ductwork on the return side with the new system, or any number of things. Logically, you can convince them. But I'm here to tell you, a lot of your customers, at least on some level, are hearing blah, 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 blah. It's because they will tell you that the reason that they're making these decisions is based on their logic, and they'll use logic to justify it. But that's not the truth. Your customer isn't being truthful with you because they don't even realize this themselves. Customers buy based on emotion, and they justify based on logic. Now, if they only buy based on emotion, this creates a situation called buyer's remorse. They go invest in this high dollar system from you, and then they get to thinking about it, and they find out this other company was cheaper, and before you know it, they're wanting out. Okay, that's buyer's remorse. You can overcome these things, but you're going to have to stop delegating the way that your company is perceived. We're talking outside of advertising, okay? Advertising is just one piece of this whole picture. If you really want to make more money, yeah, you have to look at the numbers, okay? Yeah, you have to manage and be more efficient. And yeah, you have to manage your people and be more efficient. But realistically, this is where the power's at. This is where the impact is. And so you need to know who your ideal customer is, or your ultimate customer avatar. And those are the people that respond easily. Now, that ideal customer is hidden somewhere inside of your not so ideal customer if your processes can nurture and bring that out. And that's what we've designed this to do. But it specifically identifies the people who are being frugal but not being cheap. The people who they will want the best if it is what they perceive they actually need, and they need to perceive that on an emotional level. So we got to do the work. This step one here is critical. Everything's built on this. Everything is built. You want to sell more, you want to make more money, but if you don't know your customer better than they know themselves, you have put yourself at a disadvantage. And that's what we want to avoid. So yeah, this is the steps. I mean, there's 3 phases, 1, 2, 3, and we basically do them 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. Actually, it's not quite that balanced, but you've got to know your customer avatar. Then we have to visit you, you the business owner, and we have to reposition and reanalyze what it is about you that your customers are drawn to begin with, and what is it about you that we can enhance and take to another level and separate you from the crowd so that you are worth more. But you got to know the customer first. We start with step 1 and we move to step 2. And then you have to have a culture, you have to have a team that's in harmony with that. And so that's a step as well. So that first phase, your HVAC potential, that is absolutely essential to go through. I don't care if you've been in business for 50 years. If you've not gone through this and tweaked these areas, you're not at full potential. And so by the time you get to the point where you're actually in front of the customer, when these things are done, you are stimulating them on such a subconscious and powerful and emotional level that gut feeling is telling them, this is my company. I love this. This is the company I like. I'm going to buy from this guy. They can't help themselves because you've done such a good job in packaging this. So again, this is unmatched. There's nothing like this out there. We're taking you all the way through the process in a workshop, not some class that you take online. We're going to make sure that you get this done, and we make sure that you get it properly implemented. But it only works for those who start the process and finish the process. You quitters out there, and I'm not talking to you, the people out there that just get, they want the easy fix. They want to just go in and take a class, and all of a sudden their guys are just selling millions of dollars or whatever. You know how it works. You get to your reality in your demographic and working with your customers, something is not right, and you know it. Fix it. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated. It takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of work, but right now is the time. And we've got the summer a good ways off. Why in the world would you put this off when you can be on the other side of this and have a business that sells itself, have processes that sells itself, so that you're not having to hire these super sales type people. You take a good, competent, knowledgeable, and let's call them a good person or good values or good characteristics person that really doesn't want to be a salesperson, and watch them outperform these flashy, slick, manipulating sales types. That's not for the business owner who has true values and they really value their customers and they want to take care of them. And I'm telling you, as we go into this new economy, that's going to be key. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.